Welcome back, everybody. First start attempt on the D3400 since rebuild. We've got the fuel supply hooked up to the engine, gasoline and starting engine tank, gauges all over everything so we know what fuel pressure is, oil pressure is. There's going to be a lot of adjustments, a lot of things need to be dealt with. You can see we've got the air cleaner removed. That's for very good reason. Every time you do a rebuild on one of these engines, you want to be able to shut it off in case you get something wrong in the governor and you get a runaway. The easiest way is to put a board or a block of wood over that intake port, chokes it for air, and then it will eventually shut off. So that's our fail-safe if we really end up needing it. So keep that close at hand, and everything else is set and ready to go. So let's just find out. It wants to.
I want to take her off a choke. I don't know.
I don't know either. that idles down really nice. We're popping the pinion too early. I have to do a latch adjustment, so we have to shut down, perform the adjustment there, tighten up a little bit, try it again. Mag switch works. We'll just do half a turn on each one. Best to sneak up on it, not get them too tight. pump from time to time, it might just still be working a few little air bubbles out. It seems like it is smoothing more all the time. See, the water pump packing nut is dripping a little bit. To be expected. We'll tighten that up once the fan's not spinning around and around. Even at low idle, 30 pounds oil pressure. I think I need to do some shut-off adjustment though, between low idle and that rod linkage there. If I go much lower than this, it's probably going to want to shut off. About as far down as I'm going to push it. This. Change the length of that, and that's not going to happen today. I think it's hitting on all four. She sounds pretty smooth. It runs. good for a low idle if I kept it about at that. All right, pretty happy with it all in all. I can tell I'm going to have to shorten this link right here. It's adjustable on that bell crank. That's going to get the shutoff position of the governor lever in time with the shutoff right here on the throttle. So other than that, really can't complain about a thing. Okay, it's a couple of hours later. You can see I've got the valve cover off of the diesel engine. That's because I had to do the secondary cylinder head retorque as long as everything was warm. And then anytime you have the rockers off, you know, to do stuff like that and then put them back, you got to go and just make sure all your valve lash stayed the same. It did. Everything's good there. I also retorqued cylinder heads on the starting engine. All that stuff is well and good now. And the starting engine, Senior did all the carburetor adjustments. I had to do one governor adjustment to get a little bit more high-end RPM out of it. And once we got it dialed in, you can just pull that throttle rod out right to the stop and it just boom, 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 boom. Just nice low idle, and high speed was also good. As long as you've got a good base engine, hot magneto, and a good clean carburetor, these will run like that. But these carburetors only stay clean for about 5 minutes. So after today, all bets are off, right? So anyway, starting engine couldn't have went better. And our line boring jobs, well, it's working out fine so far with the homemade front main bearing. Loving all that. On to the diesel engine. We had 12 psi fuel pressure. I like to have 15 in an absolute perfect world. It'll hit on 12 just fine as long as it stays there. So that means our pressure relief in the transfer pump was good. We didn't run it long enough to put an hour on the dial yet. Still all zeros. That's all right. So had to do one pinion latch adjustment. I did go ahead afterward and put new cotter pins in there because, you know, I reused the ones outside. I didn't know if I was going to be into it again, but we've got that set just fine. So that means we can start sliding the transmission up to that, covering all that over. Thermostat did open on it, as registered as well from the temperature gauge. We hit about 185, 186 with it today. I had to cinch the water pump packing nut one time because that was starting to leak, but that's something you have to babysit a little bit as you run these in. You need to eventually get it dialed in so that they drip just enough to keep the packing from overheating, but not so much that they make a leak. And oil pump pressure, pretty much 30 psi output, high idle, low idle. So we hit the adjustment on the thumb wheel down there right on that oil pump, so we don't have to go back in to do any of that either. And no fuel leaks. I couldn't believe it. That's the first system on this whole tractor that didn't give me a leak problem. But, well, we paid our dues, right? No new leaks either. So getting plenty of oil up top. Liking what I'm seeing. So, yeah, we can start throwing all those pieces onto 1113 now, and maybe we'll do like a build a D2 in a day episode. I don't know. We'll have to see how all that shakes out. But thanks for watching, everybody. Oh, and I know the comment section has kind of been keeping like a running bet going as to what like the fire off day was going to be for this. So it's March 29th, 2022 right now, and we are 4:29 in the afternoon. Whoever got closest, we'll do it Price is Right style without going over. We'll call the winner. So, all right, everybody. Yeah, 1113 lives. Hope to see you back.